back again. It's been a while.
Too long.
What's up, everybody? It's Red Vents TV. It's your boy Khaya here.
And Kyohh music. What's up?
Mm-hmm.
I need to move around because this thing is making a little bit of noise.
You've been busy.
Yeah. Man's been traveling.
You be on tour, innit?
I've been traveling.
We book our mom and
Book
thing.
at the mom, and I'm officially a Ugandan now.
Traded in that Trini passport, yeah.
I'm Ugandan.
That means, listen, touring has its perks. You were in Manchester.
True. As you can see from some of the posts.
Yeah. Man went to the
Was it the Leicester game?
The Leicester game.
That's the game. Last game
Saw
of
some nice Van Nistelrooy
last
ball.
game of Rude.
I was jealous.
Nah, man.
I'm not gonna lie.
Nah,
I was
man,
hella jealous.
We gonna organize one where we can go, man.
Facts.
I will
We're
take some more. I haven't put up that video yet. I've been terrible. I have a video to put up for that.
We'll sort it. No worries.
Yeah, man. But good. We're here. News back in London for a bit, and then also, back with the news on what's happening with Manchester United and the new Amorim era.
Yeah, the Amorim era. Fact.
It's Portuguese, so we call it Amorim.
That's Amorim.
That's Italian.
That's Amorim. But yeah, man, Ipswich versus Man U. So first of all, let me. I want to preference this by saying that I understand why Ten Hag got the sack. Like I was still kind of Ten Hag in, but
R.I.P.
I understand why Ineos got the sack, and all channels would have spoken about this, but I just want to give you my little 2 cents worth.
Run loose.
I really feel that. I think Ineos pulled the trigger too early. I think if we had either just stuck with Ten Hag till the end of the season, I don't think we could have finished any worse than 8th. And even if we did, listen, we about to run out your contract. But I just think because what did they pay him out? 17 million, I think it was.
Mil.
You know what I mean? And that money could have been put towards new players. It could have been put towards infrastructure. It might be over a period. But how many amortized payments are we already dealing with? You know what I'm saying? So
True.
I feel like the season couldn't have gone any worse than it could have last season, or maybe it could have. But basically what I'm trying to get to is that I think if we either stayed with Ten Hag or kept on Van Nistelrooy till the end of the season with like a strict contract, be like, listen, you're not getting anything at the end of this.
You are not Solskjaer 2.0.
Unless you win us all 4 trophies, you're not getting another contract after this. Because so many players were away for the international break. Mm-hmm. We have so many squad players that are coming back into the squad from injury. Yeah. And he had 2 weeks to implement an entire new style of football. And he was adamant in his interviews when he said, listen, I'm not going to, try keep it the same and then implement. He's like, no, from day one, it's going to be Amorim ball. New. And so you're getting these players to now play a brand new style that they're not used to. You're trying to suss out which players you want to keep, which players you want to get rid of. Because even under Van Nistelrooy, the system still worked. We still kept on playing the 4-2-3-1 that we usually play. But I feel like he just gave better instructions. He chose the players that he wanted to play. Which worked really well. I mean, 3 wins and one loss, and 1 draw. Sorry, 100% win
record.
Yeah, 100% record. So yeah, basically, I think that we just went too early with sacking Ten Hag. I'm not saying it was the wrong decision. I just think it was the wrong time.
Fair enough.
And now I think Amorim has got so much more to deal with now, with how scrutinizing the English media can be.
Yep.
And yeah, I just feel like he needed more time if you're going to implement a brand new system from scratch. For players that, by the way, aren't really that much into running or giving their all throughout the game. Everybody's sort of just stuck to their position under Ten Hag.
Yeah.
I feel like Van Nistelrooy coming in, tweaked it a little bit and gave it. And also, yeah, that's what I'll say. I think that Nistelrooy, hot take, stole Amorim's new manager bounce.
That is actually
plausible.
Very plausible.
That Nistelrooy stole Amorim's new manager bounce. So the guy didn't even get to come in and have a new manager bounce.
Because to be fair, Solskjaer had that bounce and ran with it.
He the substitute teacher came in. They really liked the substitute teacher. Now the new teacher's here.
Now the
they're
permanent teacher,
God damn it.
Permanent teacher came in and they're like, okay, maybe the permanent teacher is gonna give us like,
Yeah, he's gonna give us more homework. Yeah,
yeah, just homework. He's like, pop quiz first day, pop quiz, and now your bumbo ass. Anyway. So, no, I fully feel what you're saying, and I'm in agreement with pretty much all of it. I think what the caveat I wanted to add to that is, we just had the Ipswich game, 1-1, and one thing, my takeaway from it, which seems to be not the same from a lot of different people, is like, oh, they're saying, yeah, you gotta give him time or whatever. Bruv, this is fucking Groundhog Day. We've been here before. We've said the exact same thing. Give Ten Hag time. Give Mourinho time. Give Solskjaer time. You know what I mean? Give Van Gaal time. Yes, they all need time.
Shelf life of United managers 3 years.
3 years right now. It's like they all need time to implement what they needed to do. However, what you have is a culture and a certain style or archetype of player that's coming in that is mentally fragile.
Yeah.
And it's translating to physically fragile as well, because obviously they're not pushing themselves to a certain point to make sure that they're fit or bulletproofing themselves for the game. And I think that for the most part, they're gonna let him down. And hopefully in this case, this game with Ipswich and Ipswich and us, it's kind of good that we didn't have that manager bounce, because it didn't paper over the cracks. We can see the lack of football intelligence of some of the players that we have, the lack of commitment, because when we watch the training sessions, the very few training sessions that Amorim had, one of his things was like, you lose the ball, you run the hell back. They did it, right?
Yeah.
They had to do it during that time.
Yeah.
Game is going on. What do?
They revert back to type.
They played. Technically, overall, in a 90-minute game, they played probably 10 to 15 minutes of Amorim ball.
Yeah, yeah.
And over the shelf life of Ten Hag, for example, we've literally only played maybe at most one half of Ten Hag ball.
Yeah.
And consistently 20 minutes of Ten Hag ball. Every other time, it's playing within their shell, inviting on pressure,
Going back
crumbling.
to Ole. Yeah.
Crumbling.
Back to Ole ball.
Yeah, back to
Pretty
Ole.
much, yeah.
But you see, Ole ball allowed them a certain amount of freedom, in a sense.
Yeah.
To kind of do what they wanted a little bit.
Yeah.
But when it didn't work, because the mentality was fragile, it wasn't even like a Ole ball type thing. It was a this is who we are type thing.
Yeah.
We're just going to go through the motions and wait until Bruno pulls something out of the hat. Rashford pulls something out of the hat.
Yeah, because Rashford was firing that season.
Exactly.
Yeah. But that's it. We ain't got nobody to rely on now. We've got no 30-goal striker. No 30-goal season striker. We've got no outlet. And yeah, man. So I mean, let's get to the Ipswich game and what we took from it. So okay, so my first hot take from it, and we were talking about this before we started recording. Onana is world class. I don't want to hear nothing. I want to hear nothing from nobody about it. My man is world class. If fam, without Andre Onana, and yes, I know it's only Ipswich, but without Andre Onana, we lose that game 4-1. Which is much more of a scathing indictment on the squad and the forwards and our goal-scoring abilities. But, fam, the saves that he pulled off in that game.
That might be true.
Our podcast is being interrupted.
Yeah. Where were we?
Onana's world class.
Oh, yeah, Onana's world class. Listen, the only thing I got to say about that is Onana is proving to be world class. However, it might, a caveat, the asterisk I'm going to put next to it is world class at pretending to be De Gea.
No, because he can actually actually distribute.
No, yes.
Fam, did you see the save he made from the free kick yesterday? I mean, granted, it was straight out, but Mama literally just went. You know in Shaolin soccer, where the goalkeeper just kept the ball like that. Yeah, Mama literally just went.
But listen, what we're talking about. We're talking about him making saves. Right? Now, mind you...
But then, okay, fine, yes, we're talking about him. Yes, no, we are talking about him making saves. Which is what he's meant to do.
Yes.
But then why aren't our strikers scoring goals?
Yeah, but that's, again, you're absolutely correct. But it's what he's forced to be doing more often than distributing. And to be fair, last game I saw, which was the and I've seen it with my own eyes, against Leicester.
Show off.
Leicester, his distribution at Leicester, I don't think he put one kick correct. All, like, at least 2 of them, his attempts at a long ball, went out of play. 3 actually went out of play. 2 on the opposite side of where I was at, and 1 on my side.
Yeah, when you win 3-0, don't matter. Wait.
Yes, but
we beat them 4-2 in the Carabao and then 3-0 in the league.
In Prem.
In Prem, yeah.
Right. No.
Yo, so when you win 3-0, don't matter, man.
Yes, it's nice to be so frivolous with it, but in tougher games, at least what I will say is his shot stopping has improved exponentially, because I was so worried because how he was saving things. It's like it was hitting certain parts of his arms that I didn't see De Gea doing. De Gea was like palming shit away. Like, it was very confident what he was doing.
He's great at making himself big.
Right. And his stuff was like ricocheting, and it felt like the right ricochets were happening. Yeah. Now with his current saves, they seem purposeful. Yeah. I'll give him that.
Fam, the lap ran away but he thought he had scored.
Oh yeah.
Did you see did you see the replay from the replay? He's like, look at it, he's running away to go celebrate, and my man could not believe it.
The lap man. He's a wind up. Okay.
Anyway.
But yeah, so world class.
Yes, so Onana, world class. I think he had a very bad start to his United career, and he was the reason we dropped out of the Champions League. But
so did De Gea, and so did what's the Dutch guy we had? Schmeichel. They had
exactly. So just because one bad season doesn't make you a flop.
Yeah.
Now, granted, one good season doesn't make you world class. However, before he came to Man United, just like a lot of players, Donny van der Beek, looking at you, were on the Ballon d'Or shortlist.
Yeah, that's true.
Not even down the bottom; they were like the middle.
Middle, yeah.
Middle toward
many
the top,
bad seasons as a goalkeeper makes you Laureus Karius, but that's another story. For another
exactly.
time.
So that's what I'd say. Onana is world class. Keep him, protect him at all costs, because we would have lost that game 4-1 if it wasn't for him, which is more of a scathing indictment on our strikers than our goalkeeper. But anyway, Ahmad is the future. That is my second point.
Yeah, Ahmad, agreed, 100% agreed. Ahmad is the future. I think he has a higher ceiling than Garnacho. In technical wise anyway. I would say that Højlund and Xerxes together right now don't even make a half decent striker. Unfortunately, if you put both of their powers together, they still don't even make a Giroud. If you like
Giroud out here catching strays.
But no. I mean, Giroud was a decent striker. A very good. He was a decent to very good striker. Even when he wasn't like great or fired, he was still decent. He was doing a job for his team.
What Olivier do to you, fam? I mean, leave Olivier, man.
Be a Chelsea and Arsenal. But anyway, that's another story. My point of the matter is I agree with that. I would also say for me, after seeing that Ipswich game, it confirmed my beliefs that technically there's only from the first team and the squad and the reserves, there is only 4 or 5 players that realistically have a spot or a chance at staying in the new regime. Everybody else needs to go. They need to go.
But I mean, I agree with you. But I think that was obvious to everybody, even under Ten Hag. We knew who needed to stay. We knew who needed to go. We knew who wasn't good enough. We knew it. Like so a lot of the players that, yes, fine. Anthony being the obvious flop. But listen, I'm done with Anthony slander. I'm so bored with it.
I'm just bored with it. Well.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, they were talking about it on Stretford Paddock. Shout out Stretford Paddock.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Who is your worst?" And they brought up Sanchez was a much worse signing
because was worse.
Anthony is at least we're going on a mad tangent here, but Anthony's at least had moments. You know what I mean?
Sanchez had
no moment, and he was on like twice the money or 3 times the money. The money.
He had one moment. It was a cup game, I think. That was it.
Yeah, but Anthony had first. You'd had to play to score in his opening 3 games. The Barcelona game, the Liverpool game, which we wouldn't have gone into extra time without him.
Yeah.
And proved to us all that he could actually shoot on his right foot. Anyway, we're not here to stand Anthony. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is we all knew the players that needed to get gone. And I don't think that's going to change under Amorim bar for maybe 1 or 2 players. But we knew Ten Hag didn't get given the players that he needed.
Not all of them.
Not all of them.
And people say, at least the first team was his. Not necessarily.
Yeah.
But then, or the ones that he promoted or whatnot, still not necessarily, because at the end of the day, half of those players were not even first teamers.
Yeah.
Now, you could say maybe it's his fault that he brought them in. But you all got to understand, for the first couple season and a half when he was in charge, he was the only one that was making those major decisions. So technically, it all has to fall on him in that scenario.
Yeah.
But for this new season under Ineos, is the first time he's working with a bunch of chefs in the kitchen with himself. So it's not fully his responsibility, but then also they want him to play. They've agreed upon a certain style of football.
Yeah.
So to me, a lot of things started fresh in that moment. And more importantly, in that situation, he wasn't given the time to implement what this new direction was supposed to be. And so now you've gone and now given Amorim the exact same position that Ten Hag was in.
Yep.
Players that are not his players that he needs to get rid of that cannot fit his system. Majority of them cannot. Even some, and out of the five that I say that could remain, maybe only 3 of them could probably play in his system.
And he has to salvage the season with that.
With that, on top of that.
And also, we've already heard from Ineos that there's not going to be any activity in the January transfer window.
As per usual. And I've been saying this probably since Van Gaal days. You've set a manager up to fail.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
every single appointment, I've been proven correct. Because every single time they've come in,
although you are the eternal pessimist, though.
I just see reality, bro. I just see reality. You come in, it's like on a small tangent, a political tangent, in the sense that it's politics in a sense. You have a political party that comes in. Some of them, I'm not going to name names, and depending on your country that you watch this,
we don't do politics.
You might see them doing it. No. Let me just say that
we only do football politics.
They come in, they mess things up, and then somebody else has to come in
and fix the mess.
And fix the mess, and then they come back. But because they can't fix it to perfection and make utopia,
you're going too close to home. It's too soon. It's too soon.
They get back in.
It's too soon. We edited this out.
And they're messing it up again.
It's not making the final
just
cut.
Bleep
Anyway,
just bleep the whole thing out.
Just bleep the whole thing. Anyway, Ahmad is the future. That's my point.
Yes.
That is my point. Look, Garnacho is now a staple part of the first squad.
Agree.
Whether he comes on super sub style like Ole, or whether he is a starter in the squad, he is there. He's not a peripheral player anymore.
He's there.
And he's seeming to be our only outlet, when he can hit the target this season. But he needs to learn when to pass the ball.
Yep.
He needs to learn when to pass the ball. What was the game where he got yelled at by Casemiro? Where he literally ran and the ball was on. Mazraoui had made a gut-busting run to overlap from it, and literally
was it the West Ham game?
Yes, it was the West Ham game.
Yeah.
So Mazraoui had made a gut-busting run. All he needed to do was dink it into his path, and Mazraoui had a clear cross into the box, and he just ran into traffic. And then he did the same thing. Him and Rashford got a breakaway against Ipswich. All he needed to do was just feed the ball into Rashford's path. Whether or not Rashford would have done anything with it, we don't know with his current form. But the point is, he needs to learn when to pass the ball, particularly in the final third.
He did something with it for the first goal, bro.
Yeah.
Rashford did something with it for the first goal.
Yeah, that's true.
The problem is the hard work that needs to happen.
Garnacho, that's why I got confused.
Yeah,
sorry.
Has to happen in the beginning, in the build-up of the play. That's the hard work. The easiest part is finishing the chance.
Yeah.
Which is what City, for example, have made a very good. They've made this last decade about.
Yeah.
It's tiki-taka in the ball, passing over, and a cutback goal.
Like I want a tap-in merchant in our squad. I literally just want, because we need delivery. We need people to deliver in the ball. I want Højlund to be a tap-in merchant.
I want him too, but I'm at the same time I worry about his quality as well in front of goal.
Yeah, but
to be fair, we don't even know what he's like.
If you're 3 feet, 6 feet, 8 feet in front of the goal, and the balls are coming in, it's fine. But it was the same problem that we've had. He's just not getting service.
Yeah, a lot of our strikers are not getting service, which is why, to be fair, maybe Xerxes came in, because they're like, okay, we have somebody that could drop in a bit deeper and facilitate play. And that's cool and all, but Xerxes also is not in the Ipswich game. He wasn't even getting in.
Yeah.
When he got put in, he wasn't getting into the box.
Yeah.
So it's
but to be fair, in the Ipswich game, he did come on for Ericsson. Was it Ericsson or Bruno Fernandes he came on for? He came on for Ericsson.
Ericsson, yeah.
So he was sitting more in that kind of... Because, I mean, he said to himself, he's a self-confessed 9.5. He's not really 9, he's not really 10. So, I was excited to kind of see that link-up play between Højlund right up front and center. He doesn't have to drop back. He can just stay there. Xerxes can handle that sort of... in the attacking third of the pitch, you know what I mean? Like that line in between the attacking third and the middle third of the pitch.
Fair enough, yeah.
But yeah, it didn't come. But again, well, actually, this leads me on to my next point, is that with the current crop of players we have under Amorim's new system, they don't have, most of them, they don't have, oh God.
We have some dumbass players.
They don't have the skill that, I wrote it down.
They stupid. Some of them are running merchants.
They don't. I wrote it down after the game. Exactly. Yeah, we lack the skill. Our players lack the skill, stamina, and understanding to play in Amorim's system. I mean, look at how much we struggled to get out from the back during that game. There were 2 moments where we actually played out really well from the back, but the rest of the time we were just penned in there. It was going from left to right to left. It was like Van Gaal ball. It was going from left to right until somebody eventually just had to hoof it out. Nobody was there to pick it up in the midfield, and it just kept coming back our way. So while that system can work, we don't have the players to make it work, and even if we did, we don't have the time to implement that system. Which takes me back to the point I made at the beginning of the video, where we just went too early with Amorim.
Yeah, I could say that is the case, because I remember saying that as well on one of the forums that I was on. I think it's either UV or KG, the comedian's channel. Big him up, by the way. It was saying that I was saying to the effect of that Ten Hag was, I was looking at someone as Ten Hag. At first my idea was, okay, Ten Hag could be the guy to take us to the promised land. Then that we quickly realized that wasn't the case. I'm like, okay, at least like Van Gaal, at least like maybe in some cases Mourinho, or in this case, he could be the guy that steadies the ship, is able to facilitate basically what these guys did, Mancini and what these guys did for City, where they were in having a certain style of play, getting a certain style of player, which is in the end supposed to facilitate the ultimate manager that we're trying to get, which was, in their case, was Pep. So the whole system was built for him by the time he got here. So then all he had to do was just put his, the cherry on top for himself.
Yeah.
And I thought that while it may not be the exact same, that he could be that guy. Ten Hag could be that guy that just kind of steadies his ship in the meanwhile, gets us a certain amount of levels. Hopefully, he would have been like third all the time, challenging for top 4.
It started off promising.
A couple of cups, but ultimately was supposed to build that structure for that ultimate person that we were going to hang our hat on to get in. And
the system's so broken though.
It's so broken.
That's United is a graveyard for players. It's a graveyard for managers.
So I'm hoping they can turn that around. But for now, when I looked at that, I was like, keep him until maybe the end of the season.
Yeah.
And then fine. But in the meantime, don't worry about backing him in that sense. Be like, listen, you've had enough. Your aim right now is to get the best out of this season that you can possibly get. In the meantime, backroom staff is working on getting the structure proper and right for the next person. In this case, it could have been Amorim as well. Yeah. And I now think that I agree with you that Amorim is now in and having to do part of Ten Hag's job, salvaging a season, putting the infrastructure himself into place for his style of football.
Yeah.
And that runs the risk because of the what's the word I'm looking for? Not just the structure, the habit that we have of getting tired of failure after 2, or what we consider failure after 2.5 seasons.
Yeah,
and we're going to sack the manager.
It's cyclical.
And he's well on, in my opinion, he's well on his way to do that. So I'm hoping that Ineos, for example, everyone says give him his time. Yes, they have to give him the time, but we also need to be.
Got time, but
need to accept that we're gonna be shit for a bit.
Yeah. We've been shit. Well, we've been shit for a while.
Yeah, but that's the thing. We don't even. But a lot of cup wins and stuff have given us a lot of false dawns, and people are like, "Oh yeah, we're all we need to do is this and do this and do this and do this." But the same issues keep showing their head in season number fucking 3, and then we're like, get rid of the manager. And anybody who says, oh, the infrastructure is broken, get rid of the Glazers, get rid of these players, they're like, nah, these players play well or whatever. No, these players play well for the first season when the new manager comes in, and then fuck off. After that, get a new contract and fuck off. Don't you see the fucking pattern here?
That's all we got time for today.
Yeah. Let me get all here before I fucking... Okay, sorry.
Thanks everyone for watching this episode of Red Vets TV. This has been the Front Two Podcast. My name's Khaya.
Khaya Music, these mothers.
Please subscribe to Red Vets TV, and hopefully we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Yeah.
We're gonna go get Coyote some. What do we need? We need some ayahuasca, some peyote.
Oh yeah, I don't know what I need.
You need a sauna, man.
Yeah, I need. You know what I need? I need a fucking physio.
You need Yamada.
Yeah, I need my mom. I haven't seen her in a while too, for sure. Love you, mama.
Love you, moms.
Bye.